Begin Podfix Network transmission in 3, 2, 1.
Empath.
All the breaks.
Yoking.
Won't you write some stuff for Folky Town? Won't you write some stuff for Folky Town? Down to folk. Are you down to folk? Folky Town. Down to folk, we're down to folk. That's F-O-L-K. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sitting on the bench. Writing's really hard. We need another snack. And that is just a fact. Oh.
Hi, this is Shauna.
And this is Trisha.
And this is Two Girls on a Bench.
The podcast.
We write on the bench.
We snack on the bench.
And most of all, we procrastinate on the bench.
On the bench.
Hello, listeners.
Hola.
Benchlings, friends, Romans, countrymen. I'm just
Others.
Welcome to Two Girls on a Bench.
If you're new to the show.
This is the show where we try and encourage people to write. And sometimes we write too, so we'll be a good example.
And then we also just talk about everything that's happening in the world and with us all at the same time.
Simultaneously. So just get ready, because we never know what's going to happen. We have a few things planned, but
I mean, not that planned though. It's
but I have
really fast and loose.
I have a quote though.
Okay,
so
writing quote by Shauna.
Okay, so here's
every
the quote.
Show, mostly.
Most of the time, it's not a quote that I wrote. It's a quote from someone else. It made it sound like I have a quote. I'm all. My thoughts on writing. I'm like, just write every day, dumbass. I'm kidding. Okay, that's my quote. Okay, but
that's
now
mostly what she says all the time.
I'm gonna read a quote from a different person.
Okay,
but I love this. Breathe, darling. This is just a chapter. It's not your whole story. S.O. Lori. So S.O. Lori. I looked up. I love this quote, but I didn't know who the person was. And she's just, she's a contemporary writer, poet, I believe. It looks like from her website.
I mean, we should find her on Twitter. Yeah.
She's a mom. She's in the UK. She's got her kids, and she's loving life and writing poems. And anyway, so I love that quote, though, because it's such a good, it's like, this is just a chapter. It's not your story. Because it's like we all get caught up.
Especially this year.
Oh, yeah. Well, we were just talking about a few things like that.
Were.
And it's like, it's easy to get stuck on the chapter and not move on or be like, you're done with that chapter.
The whole picture.
Either that or with writing, you can get stuck on something and then it's like, you need to move past that.
We get stuck on something and it stops us from doing anything.
Forever. No.
For but 10
then we
years.
Came back. We're back.
Baby.
We're trying. So that's important.
That's new.
Yeah.
If you're new to the show, it's new for us to try.
It's not new, but
things.
There's been a slight holiday called COVID pandemic 2020, 2021, and beyond.
We're giving ourselves all the breaks.
It's a pretty big excuse. I mean, it's big. It's like a big excuse. I plugged my phone in and now it's not working for me in my life. I don't like the way that was doing it. Okay. So so anyway, we've got a great show for you tonight.
A packed situation. I have no idea what it is, but
yeah, we have a really good snack book. We have
that might take a lot of work and maybe will be worth it.
It'll be worth
Definitely.
it. We know it's going to be worth it. And that's going to be a big surprise for everybody. So get ready for this surprise in a few minutes. And we have a Write Club challenge to put out, which
for
is
April.
Fun.
Yes.
And I don't know what else we're going to do.
I mean, just hold on to your butts.
Spectacular for sure.
Here we go.
It's going to be big, you guys. This is a big epic snack book, so it's coming up now because I'm hungry.
All right. that snack book.
We were just reminiscing about random stuff right now.
That's right.
But here's the snack book, everybody, that you've all been waiting for. We should have drums, I guess.
Joy to the world. Wait, what?
We made deviled eggs.
We're not in a cult.
We're not in a cult, but we talked about it so much that we had to have it. And I just happened to have
Mostly
a lot of
Shauna
eggs.
had to have it. She was like, I'm going to bring you a bunch of a bunch of eggs.
And you're going to make deviled
And
eggs.
you're going to make me deviled eggs. Trisha, go.
Because you make them good. It's a compliment.
And make them good.
So you know how, like, I'm always a bitch? Well, this time Trisha was a bitch.
I was not.
I'm just kidding. A little bit.
What?
Your snobby egg cooker. Okay, here's what happened. So I bought all these eggs at Costco that are like individually wrapped hard-boiled eggs, like in groups of 2. And I was like, I have a lot of them. And then this is what Trisha always says when I talk about how I buy hard-boiled eggs cooked already. She goes, they're just so easy to make in the Instapot.
Because I just made them from Easter.
I know.
And like,
No, but you've
it's
told me
kind
that
of amazing.
several times.
I've told you that every Easter since I've had an Instapot. So for 1 year, I've told you that.
It's been other times.
Nope.
Too. Nope. Outside of Easter season, you have mentioned the Instapot
Last
egg
year was
situation.
the first Easter I had an Instapot.
Okay, anyway.
So last year I mentioned it, and then I mentioned it. I happened.
I wish that I had like a screenshot
again.
to be like, it was like November and,
And
you were
no,
like eggs in the Instapot.
Because I've only made hard-boiled eggs in the Instapot twice.
All right.
Last Easter and this Easter. And both times I probably said, Shauna, this is so easy. And in your head, I've been saying it for like the last 8 years.
Well, we don't do Easter eggs anymore because nobody cares in my house. So there's that. But I don't want to peel eggs. This is like my barrier, right?
I get that.
So these eggs
I don't want to peel eggs either.
They're cooked. They're ready. I brought over a dozen basically in these little packages, and I still have a bunch left, which is crazy. Like, how many eggs did I buy? But they're good because they're individually wrapped, so they last for a while.
Yeah.
So I brought them over. We took them out, sliced them in half, and then we had to take the yolks out. And I was like, I feel like I'm going to fuck this up. Like, I thought I was going to, like, break the white part or something.
It's really not that hard.
Yeah. So then apparently it was because I did a few that were
Yeah, you really can't do it. Like, and I love you, but like you
No,
can't.
it was not. I just was making a mess of it.
I'm not yoking.
You were
That was awful.
You were planning. I
No,
could see
I
your
wasn't.
the wheels in your head were turning. Don't fall back.
No.
You do not fall back.
No,
off
I'm
and
not. I just thought of that just now. I'm
Okay.
not yoking.
So she was not yoking, but she was because I couldn't do it. And then, yeah, you mixed it with
mayonnaise, mustard, salt, and pepper. That's it.
It's delicious.
That's it. It's because I put an equal amount of mustard in with the mayonnaise.
Yeah, because I don't like things that. Well, first of all, I don't like things that are plain. No, who does? Actually, a lot of people like things that are plain, so I shouldn't have said that because sometimes
You
people
just
do like things plain.
4 listeners just like turned us
They're like,
off.
I
They're
like plain things. Get out of here,
Jane, all the time. Boom. Podcast off.
So, the mustard is the winner for me. Of
The
course.
mustard is what makes it tangy and
It's
yummy.
delicious. So Trisha whipped it up, and she couldn't find her hand mixer.
I could not find. I found the hand mixer, but I couldn't find the blades that plug into it because I haven't used it in a million years. Because I have a KitchenAid now. Because I'm married. It's the whole reason I got married was for a
Just to
KitchenAid.
get a KitchenAid.
Yeah,
That's
and
when I got one,
good
too,
knives. Yeah. No, that's the whole reason I got married.
So
anyways, yeah. So
we ended
I
up
had
using something else.
I had an immersion blender.
That worked good though, right?
I mean, it's just like a hand blender.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, or at least it worked for this.
Yeah,
it might
no,
not work
I
for
just
other
immersion
things.
blended it with my mustard and mayonnaise, salt and pepper, and needed a little pepper after, but it was good.
They were so good.
Paprika does not shake out evenly from a paprika.
There are a few that are very
seasoning.
paprika-y.
Yeah,
they're fine though.
those.
I ate one too, and it was like
Not really.
nothing really happened.
There's
to
not
me.
really a taste
It's
of
just
paprika.
the smokiness, like you said. It's
I
not.
guess.
It's not hot. It's not spicy. Like it's just like it's for color.
Yeah.
I feel like more than anything. And the paprika you have is darker. Sometimes it's like more orangey.
Yeah.
Like you had smoked paprika, I think if you have like plain old paprika, it's like
regular paprika. No, so like I've had recipes that call for paprika, and I'm like, oh, I have that. But, like, I just don't think it elevates the flavor at all.
It doesn't
like,
do a lot.
It's just
it doesn't
a garnish.
Make things like
it's like
work.
Yeah.
I mean, it does have a flavor, but you kind of have to use a lot to taste it. Because if you just sprinkle it, it's literally for the looks. Like, I feel like there's not another reason to.
I feel like you would do like a little cayenne pepper on top, and then like it would have a little spice to it, and like be flavorful.
Cute. So we'll mess around with this.
Still look pretty with the red.
Maybe when I take my leftovers home, I will sprinkle cayenne
or
and
like
see what happens
emerald
to me.
seasoning
I don't
or
have
something.
that anymore.
Okay, whatever. God damn it.
Goodbye. Anyway, you guys, deviled eggs. Oh, they're the best. We hadn't had them. I hadn't had them since that story we told where we took them to the. I feel like I haven't had them since then. I don't know. Maybe I have. One time I tried to buy some at the store. Do you remember? I think for some get together we had,
yucky,
and they were disgusting. And I was like, "This is the saddest."
Did they have pickles in them?
I don't know. They were horrible.
They were gross.
And I was so sad because I really.
You bought like a plate of them.
Yeah, but I
brought them over.
But I only like the way that you make them, I guess. I don't know. Actually, I think I had them for catering for something, some event at work, and they were good because I think she probably made them like you do. Like they were like flavorful. But anyway, so that is our story of deviled eggs. If you'd like to join the deviled egg cult, go get some eggs. If you want to peel them, you can. If you want to be a traditionalist, you can boil them, peel them.
Send us a picture of your effort.
And then cut them in half, and you'll have a great yolk to tell.
Folklore.
Fairy tales.
Legends.
These are traditions from time immemorial, passed from generation to generation. They explain the unknown. They warn against danger. They guide our moral fiber, instilling in us a sense of purpose and goodness.
These tales are central to our very being, reminding us that we're one and the same.
There is a magic in these stories. So we want to bring these tales to you, to take you into the fold. You'll learn. You'll grow.
And the best part? We're making it all up.
That's right. We're completely full of shit.
Join us for Down to Folk at DTF Stories across all social media, dtfstories.com, and wherever podcasts are found.
Write it, bitch. Okay.
It's Right Club coming. This isn't Right Club, but this is the announcement for Right Club for April.
It's Right Club adjacent.
It's Right Club announcement.
All right. So part of our network is a great podcast called Down to Folk. And we've mentioned them before.
So funny.
Hilarious. And they're looking for writers to contribute stories for their show. So they're looking for folklore, legends, fairy tales, anything that's 100% made up. You can start with a real idea, but you need to take it in a crazy direction. Make it funny, but don't acknowledge that you're funny. We want the listeners to miss the jokes or just catch the jokes, but say, wait, did they just say ... If you aren't funny, that's okay, but make it a good story that sounds plausible, but is obviously fake.
If you aren't funny, it's okay.
It's okay.
But I mean, is it? I'm just kidding. It's a bigger question.
Absurdity is the key, but again, downplay everything. They're reporting the greatest stories you never heard, right? So the sky's the limit. Basically, they would like at least one gruesome death or a complete left turn in the last 2 lines of the story, because it's just funnier that way. Your stories need to be about 2 to 3 pages. Longer's fine, but the goal is a length that, when read dramatically, is about 5 to 10 minutes. So that's it. So if you want to write a story for Down to Folk, email it to twogirlsonabench@gmail.com, and we will get you in front of the creators and hopefully get your story out there.
We're excited. I can't wait to see what people come up with, because I'm thinking, like, what would I write? Like, well, I don't know if we should write one together or separately. We each write our own.
We are assigned now to write as many as possible.
Okay. So we should do them separately.
So we should each write one, edit the other, and then also write one. So we have 3 we can do.
Really?
Yeah, we each write one, and then we also write one together.
Okay. That's a lot of writing
really
for
annoyed.
2 people that have a writing podcast. With all the other things we have to do.
Stop making us write so
what
much.
What if we
on
just
this
write one
writing
together?
Podcast. I'm making shit up. Like, it's all good.
You're just very, like, what's the word I'm looking for?
Fluid.
No, that wasn't it.
Hilarious. Awesome.
None of that's right.
Beautiful. I mean, any of those words work.
I don't know what I was
Annoying.
Gonna say. Yeah, there you go. That was it. You hit it. Ding. I feel like I need some sound effects just, like, available to me.
You just feel like a DJ, like
a morning radio show where they have just like
a bunch, like a soundboard.
Yeah.
Hauga.
Yeah.
Like,
there were so many. Like, I just think of, like, okay, flashback. I mean, they're probably still on the air. I don't listen to the radio anymore, so I don't know. I'm sorry. Video killed the radio star. Podcast killed their live radio. But anyway, I used to listen to Kevin and Bean.
Killed all of us.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
But, like, Kevin and Bean, like, I know they're probably, like, horrible, and I probably, now looking back on everything with cancel culture, I'm sure, you know, on a lot of different ways are not appropriate. But anyway, whatever. Looking back, let's just pretend like that didn't happen. And they always had, like, I don't know, and they had, like, Ralph Harmon, and they were just funny. Like, they had, like, all these funny sound effects that were, like, kids going, like, yay!
Baked
and, like,
in. Yeah.
And it was, like, there were, like, certain ones that I really, like, loved to hear.
That is actually a sound effect thing we can buy.
Well, some of them were, like, also clips from their shows. So, like, one time they were talking to Larry King, and he was like, will Glenda be... They were, like, doing a live show, or I don't know what they were doing, and they were like, you should come down, or I don't know what they were talking about with Larry King, first of all, which is kind of funny by itself. And then they were like, yeah, you know, you should come down. And he's like, will Glenda be there? And they were like, yeah. And then they were like, who the fuck is Glenda? Like, they were just like later. And so then they would play that clip all the time. They'd be like, come down and see us, you know, breakfast with, you know, No Doubt, or I don't know, whatever band. And then they would play that, will Glenda be there? And it was saying that. Anyway, these are the things that make me happy. My memories of that. Okay.
Memories.
Anyway, okay, that's it. So write a story, you guys. This is fun. Listen to Down to Folk to get the feel of it. If you haven't already, it's hilarious.
It's really
but it
funny.
is hilarious in, like, a not overly, I'm trying to be funny, hilarious way. It's hilarious, like, huh, what? Yeah, it is very much like that.
Yeah.
What did they say? Like, oh my God, that's hilarious. It's more like laughing on the inside. You know? Like the inside laughing, not the, like, all right. I feel like we have nothing else to talk about, which seems very strange to me.
Well, I would just say, no one's left us a review in, like, a year.
What?
So if you haven't given us a review yet on Apple Podcasts, give us a review, because it does help. And all shows say this, but it actually is true.
It really does.
It really does help. Also, the Podfix Network has a channel called Podfix Presents, and all these shows, Down to Folk included, are on the Podfix Network. So go there to find more fun content if we're boring
and
you.
more fun content from us.
And sometimes we're there too.
I mean, because it is our network and we do contribute.
Yeah.
Sometimes. I'm just kidding. No, we always do when they ask us to.
Occasionally, we participate when we're not procrastinating.
Or I feel like our energy level went into the dumper right now.
You know what? Like,
you're like closing your eyes.
I'm
doing?
basically asleep right now. I'm not. I was like doing that for effect.
Oh, really? What?
I was like,
you were closing your eyes for effect on the podcast.
I was doing like a
everybody
thing
saw you
where I just fall asleep a little bit for effect.
Hypnotic driving. There's this thing where so we've been doing drivers with Alan, and they're always like, not hypnotic. Well, hypnotic driving is the one where you're like.
Hypnotic driving.
When you're like, when you drive somewhere and then you're like,
how did I get
I
there?
don't even like remember. Yeah.
Oh,
like how to
yeah.
get, like when you would like have a commute or something
Yeah,
and you would like drive and then you'd be like, I don't even remember like half of that.
Yeah.
I just got here and like,
yeah.
good job. I just,
That's like
no one
most
died.
of my driving experience.
So apparently, but there was another one and I can't, micro sleeping. That thing where you're like, if I just close my eyes when you said that, because I remember thinking that when I was like, when I used to commute a lot and then like, after my kids came and everything, and then I was like commuting to like West LA, and I would be like sometimes at night I would just be so tired, and I'd be driving, and I think, and the traffic's so slow.
I just like close my eyes for like just
and you think that, and then you're like, what? And then you like shake. I would like shake my head.
No, dude,
I'm about to cause
that.
another massive accident that will make everyone annoyed. It wouldn't even matter about life or anything. It was just like. This is already bad traffic. I don't want to make it worse. But yeah, no, it was terrible. But I would just remember thinking that and I was like, I totally remember doing that. Yeah. So scary.
I've done it before. And
it's terrifying because
when you dots on the side.
Yeah, when you come back awake right away, because it is micro. It's like a 2-second thing, but you really should never
close your eyes.
Ever do.
You should never close your eyes while you're driving. Just a tip from the bench.
So,
bench tips.
See, here's another positive of pandemic world. We haven't had to do that. So I haven't fallen asleep driving for years.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't had to commute like that for a long time. But that was the long.
Now I just fall asleep on Zoom calls and have to like
now
turn
you just
my
fall asleep while we're
off.
talking.
Now
right
I'm just
now.
sleeping. I'm like having a micro nap right now. Like what's happening?
Definitely felt like that for a second.
Sean just like made like a weird like
I don't know
elephant noise.
It just happened.
What happened?
I don't know. We're kind of delirious right now, and I don't know why. Was it the eggs?
You know what?
I don't know what it was.
It's too much eggs, and also I'm really tired. I don't know what's happening. All right. Well, down
with
to
all
folk,
that,
write some stories. Send them to us. Oh, deadline.
Oh,
folks.
Should we look at a calendar? We've actually been looking at the calendar quite a bit.
Open the calendar. So how about by the 24th? Send us your stories. And then if they make it for the show, we'll let you know. That rhymed.
Yay. And we'll and then also if ours make it, we'll let you know when it's happening. If we write 1 or 3 or as many as we can.
3.
Apparently, 3 is the magic number.
3.
God, I'm so scared now.
2 weeks, 3 stories. Go. You can do it.
I don't think like you have to do it, or I don't know. I don't think I can. All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. I feel like this is a short episode, but that's probably fine.
It's okay.
Everyone's like, we're good.
Well, I think next weekend we're gonna have like a little piece to add to this for the week after promotional situation with our friends.
Oh, we're gonna have a guest.
Yes.
Oh, but is that gonna be in this episode?
Probably.
Do you guys want to hear all this?
We're gonna plan
Patricia
this.
explains
right
to me
now,
how things work.
We're gonna.
I did set up the guest for once. Finally, I did something, but
we're gonna
I don't know how it all fits together
as it happens. But yeah, so after this moment, We will have a guest on the bench named Shari, who's been on the bench before, to talk about
Cool thing that she's doing.
yeah.
Psychic Shari. Remember everybody?
Psychic
Member.
Shari.
Remember? That's what I said.
Remember, you guys?
Member.
Where it's at? Where are we at?
I'm like my own worst enemy right now. Okay, so it's not going to be a short episode. It's going to be longer, so stay with us.
So I think that'll be part of this. I just decided right now.
Like, I love
Otherwise,
that we just worked that out for everyone.
Right here. I'm going to cut all that out.
We like you guys to be part of the process.
We don't want you to think we pre-planned anything.
And we don't want you to feel like you
don't want to feel like
behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Like,
we don't want you to feel like we're organized or something. Like, we want you to know how messy it really is here at our network on the bench.
Okay, really quick, I just have to bring up, I feel like we may need to have a new segment that's like Trisha's musical serial killer board. Because you started another one.
No,
so I said the Peter Gabriel thing to you where I was like, who's the Peter Gabriel? And now you're like, it's like you can't
stop thinking about who the Peter Gabriel is. But I found the David Bowie.
Well, here's what happened. We're talking about SNL and one of their musical guests, Saint Vincent, and she's cool and funky. And I was like, yeah, she's cool. And then Trisha looks at me and goes, I think she's the Peter Gabriel. And I was like,
nope, nope.
I don't
you
think
suck,
so.
Nope.
I didn't say you suck, but I said, I don't think so.
And you were like, nope.
And you were like, you're right, it's not. I'm just trying to make it fit.
It's not. And then I'm like, it's a David Bowie. St. Vincent is a David Bowie of now.
So now
then.
And then she did that thing where she went into the hole and looked up, say everything St. Vincent's ever done in her life. And like went way into it.
Still exploring.
I was like, she's cool. That's interesting. And then I never thought about it again until we were talking. And I was like, oh, the musical guest was cool. And then you were like,
let me tell you all about her. I have more work to do on this, and there's room in here to make my murder wall of music.
Like,
so
we totally should. It would be kind of fun.
I might have to do that.
Well, see, the sad thing is, there are so many of these things that, I mean, we don't have enough space really to put them all up. But
I'm not sure. Maybe my bedroom.
Because if we went back,
this is gonna start like
if we went back to like
over my house,
the whole like Tom Selleck, like that whole thing. Which, by the way, popped up as a memory on our Facebook, and it was like Tom Selleck. Trisha's mom used to watch a show he was on. It was
was a whole diagram of Tom Selleck.
So, like,
I wrote it all down for that show.
I don't know where it is, but that should have been on the wall.
Well, there's a picture of it, but that was epic.
That was a big one.
Maybe we need a couple walls.
And then there's
I do have some yarn.
There's
blue,
also
it's
the
not
one.
Red,
there's also that's fine. Well, it's a music one, so it can have a different.
Christopher Maloney and the guy from Mad Men.
Mad TV. You were gonna say
Mad Men. I was gonna say Mad Men.
John Hamm.
Yes, John Hamm, Christopher Maloney. That's a whole like wall right there.
There was a whole thing, and so like that's why I'm saying that like. But and then that's when I realized there's not enough space because there's been quite a few of these. But it's fun. I mean, because we shouldn't like write those stories for Down to Folk. We should instead focus all our energy on making a weird
really
music
get a lot
murder
of
wall
tacks and pictures and yarn and make
and
some
spend
sort
a lot
of wall
of time.
Of connections.
Look, this is how it works.
Wait, nope. All right. Well, welcome our guest and keep writing.
Keep snacking.
Talk to you soon.
Guests on the bench. So we have a really cool guest on our bench today. Welcome, Shari.
Hi.
Hello.
So happy to be back on the bench.
I know. We're so happy to have you. We had Shari on, like
a couple of years ago.
It was probably like a year, 2 years ago, maybe. It's been a while, but yeah. Yeah, but we're so excited to have you back. And So I just have to, this is completely off of the subject of everything, but I have to ask this question. So we're texting back and forth. Let's talk at this time. Let's talk at this time. And Shari texts me, well, I'm going to be on the river with the manatees until 3. And I was like, what? And it just was like normal, like, and then I'll be and I was like, wait, what? The manatees? Okay, wait, so you have to tell us first about the manatees.
Okay, I will gladly tell you about the manatees. So myself and my husband and some other people, we work as volunteers at a state park called Blue Springs State Park. It's about an hour north of Orlando, where I live. And Blue Springs is a huge haven for manatees, which are really super cute, big water mammals. But they're endangered. And the springs are warm water. They stay the same temperature all year round. And so the manatees will come there by the hundreds in winter when the river and the oceans and things get cold. Because rivers and oceans will change with the temperatures, but spring water is the same temperature all year round. Because so many manatees come to Blue Springs, we get manatees all year round. So right now the park is open for swimming, canoes, kayaks, paddleboards, divers, snorkelers, tubing people, hundreds and hundreds of swimmers, but we'll still get manatees. And so today we had 5 manatees. There were 2 that are tagged, which is the GPS tracker they put on the manatees when they're released back in the wild after a rehabilitation, and then 3 friends. So they were all 5 kind of swimming around. And it gives people a great opportunity to see these magnificent animals, but we're there to make sure that they don't like hug them or try to ride them, or because it's illegal to touch them. They are federally protected animals.
Right. That's cool.
So we were out protecting the manatees today.
So you use like a Nerf gun and you just like
I asked for a little police light that I could stick on the front of my kayak, but they said no. We go out with
probably
kayaks
find one of those.
Yeah, they said
That
no.
sounds so fun. Well,
Yeah,
good for
awesome.
you. I know you love manatees, but I was like, it was just so funny the way you're just like moving right along. I'll be out with the manatees on the river. I was like, what? Okay, cool. I like that.
We have to save our creatures. So
That's awesome.
So we had been chatting with you, and as hopefully our listeners remember back, but Shari is a psychic medium. Is that the right? Yeah, I always want to make sure I use the right terminology. And so we had talked in the past about some of the things that Shari was doing, and Shari has a kind of an interesting opportunity for folks, and we wanted to just share a little bit about it because I think a lot of people are really interested in sort of developing these sides of themselves or understanding them better. So do you want to just share a little bit about your class?
Thank you, and I'm so excited to be able to share this, and I'm really so grateful to be able to share this. This is an online course. It's called Becoming an Empowered Empath, and this came about because so many people of the people that I would be working with, they were like, "Oh, I'm an empath. I feel everything. I don't know what to do," and it can be very hard if you are what I would call an untrained empath. If you are an empath, a person that can feel the energies of the people around you, if you can feel someone else's emotions, like Shauna, let's say, for example, you were sad and I was talking to you, I could feel that sadness as if it was my own sadness. And now I'm like sad, and it's not like, oh, my girlfriend was sad and I'm going to oh, we hung up the phone and she goes on to be sad and I go on with my day. No. So for an empath, that I would take that sadness and be like, okay, no, I'm really sad. And to feel that pain or that joy or that whatever it is as if it was my own. And empaths go through their days that way, being bombarded by the energy and the emotion of everything that's going on around them. So I found myself teaching constantly tools and tips and ideas and training people to protect themselves and to filter and how to live in the world and not feel like you needed to come home and pull the covers over your head. And so finally I said, I need to put this into an organized class. And so we have this 8-week course. It's called Becoming an Empowered Empath. And the enrollment for it is going to open again on April 15th. And the first class will go live on May 1st. So we're very, very excited. It's an 8-week journey. lots of videos, meditations, journal pages, lots of tangible handout things, including a live Zoom with me, usually around week 6. So come along, and you can go to my website for more information.
What is the like if you sign up, how, like, are they once a week? Are they twice a week? Like, what's the cadence of the course?
So the course is hosted on my school site through Thinkific, and each module will go live on a Tuesday. So I figure people already have a lot to do on a Monday, and when they're coming back from the weekend or whatever, and I didn't want people to have one more thing they had to worry about on a Monday. So each module will go live on a Tuesday. Every week for 8 weeks, a new module will go live, and you have access to that information for as long as you want. So it could take you the whole week to get through it. Some people, finished it like every week. They were finishing the module right away. Other people were just kind of going at their own pace, but it'll be available each week.
Oh, cool.
That sounds really cool. And so you have your own website, and then you also this is a separate one, kind of where you do the class. Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, if you go to my website, there is a link, but it's also I try to keep everything really simple, and so it's ShariDworkin-SmithLearn.com.
Oh, okay.
So my website is ShariDworkin-Smith.com, and my school website is ShariDworkin-SmithLearn.com. So it is.
Well, and we'll share this in the show notes of the episode. So we'll share all the links, and I can throw your email in if you want people to have that in case they want to contact you, but they can contact you also through your website.
I give everybody my link tree, and all the places where they can find me is on my link tree.
Link tree.
Yeah, we need to make one of those.
We need a link tree.
Because it shows you your Facebook, your Twitter, your Instagram, your
all
TikTok, or whatever,
where people can find you. Yeah, it's it's marvelous.
We're like behind the curve on that one, the link tree situation.
Only on that one. I'm very proud of myself of being ahead. That I have a link tree. So.
You won the link tree.
You did. So how, so for when someone's an empath, is it sort of like, I don't know, like I've read or heard different things about this, where it's like you do sort of need to like protect yourself in a way, right? Like you were saying. So it's like if you're around someone that's like really sad, really toxic, whatever, right? Like runs the gamut of like different things. It's like, is some of it about sort of like figuring out how to protect yourself from that?
Absolutely.
Or how to like shield yourself?
Absolutely. So if you've ever gone to a party, even with people that you like, and you're just, being there and having a great time, and then the party's over and you go home and you're like, hey, that was great. Empaths will go to a party like that, and they'll be like, half hour in, they're like, okay, I gotta go. Then they start looking for the exit. They're like, I gotta go. And you start to just feel this very sort of bombardment of energy. It can feel very oppressive or suffocating. And you'll see empaths will be like, okay, go. And then they'll go home and go to sleep. Like I literally, if we went anywhere, I would go home and go to sleep. I mean, it's exhausting because your energy is so completely draining. And so a lot of people with autoimmune diseases or fibromyalgia, if this can exacerbate all of that, or even they have links between these things because your energy is just constantly depleted. More, because you had mentioned toxic people, Shauna, more is the concern that empaths, because they are so susceptible to that, they can be very pliable. They can be very manipulatable. So you have things like narcissists and energy vampires that will prey on an empath because they need that little boost from being able to bend that person. And the empath is like drawn along, almost like hypnosis, because they are just sucked into that energy link. So there's a lot of places where empaths can get, migraines and severe depression. And illness is manufactured in the body by toxic energy. When we hold anger or depression or things, we can literally make ourselves ill. So it's a lot that goes into knowing how to protect yourself from toxic energy, for sure.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say you talked about this with us before about your spiritual guides. Do you do that in this empowerment course?
We
as well?
do. We do. That's such a great question. We do. The course is set up to really be a progression. So we started talking about what is an empath and how do you know if you even are one?
That's what I was going to ask next.
Yeah.
Was how do you know if you are one or
How
not?
do you
Yeah.
even
Okay.
know
Great.
if you are one? So we ask a series of questions so that you can, and I'll even pull up the questions so let's see if maybe Shauna and Trisha are empaths. Hey.
No.
So we ask a series of questions so that you can decide for yourself and start to understand, are you even in the right place? Are you an empath? There we go. And then we take you through all the different aspects of how we receive information. For example, I am very clairaudient in my psychic mediumship work, so I hear things in my head. Some people are more clairvoyant, which means they see things, clairsentience, and they will feel things in their body. And so understanding as an empath how information is coming into you will help you understand where you need to strengthen your energy and what tools would be best suited to you in strengthening your energy. So once you're understanding how you're receiving it, you're more able to understand how you're processing it and how to turn those tables around. So we go through the clairs. We go through also learning about your chakra system. And then we get into lots of tools, working with shielding and blocking energy, working with crystals. And then, of course, Trisha, we get into working with your angels and your guides so that you can really keep yourself connected to your higher powers and have a much better grounding and connection to a source of strong energy that it really keeps us much more strengthened and empowered once we learn how to utilize it and how to access it.
Now, if somebody is like a no for all the questions, but they're interested still in maybe finding out if they can reach the point of being an empath, is that allowed?
What if you're not an empath?
Yeah, absolutely. Because you know what? The reality is, with so many people, quote, waking up these days, more people are understanding that they are empathic. Maybe they're not 100%, but maybe they're realizing, like, why do I always feel so depressed? Or why do I always feel like angry after I talk to this person? Or, these mirroring reactions. So many people are waking up to the transference of energy. They're like, I am kind of empathic. Maybe I need to learn more about it. So I get a whole lot of people that call me and say, what is that? And why do I feel like that? But you may also have an empath in your life. And because I guarantee you, we all do, at least one. And
Well, we have you.
Well, there you go.
And so do all of our listeners now. No,
See, now you've all got one, I guarantee you. But having the better understanding of what's happening with an empath is really powerful. So I don't know. You want to see if you're an empath?
Yeah. Let's do it. This is fun.
All right. Let's see if Shauna and Trisha are an empath. So do you ever
combined, we
one
might be.
We're like,
you can do it. You can do it separately. All right. Keep your own tallies here. So okay. These are just a few of the questions.
Hold on. We have no paper. Just
right.
kidding.
Oh, I can do it. I can keep the tallies.
No, we'll do it. We'll do it.
All right. So when you finish talking to a sad friend, do you personally feel sad or tired or drained? Okay.
So just like yes or no.
Just write yes or no. Just write yes or no, and then we'll add up your yeses and nos at the end. If you take time to comfort an angry friend, do you now feel angry for the rest of the day? Do you tend to feel more comfortable in nature with lots of trees around?
Okay. This is fascinating. We're like, quiet.
Does being in a crowd feel exhausting to you?
not that any of us know what that feels like anymore.
Yeah, it's been a great year.
Like most of us just want to be in a crowd
I
to
know.
see what it feels like again.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I'm just kidding.
Have you ever been told that you are too sensitive or you just need to toughen up?
Can I write all my life?
Yeah. So that's just 5 questions. So how many did you say yes to?
All of them.
Well, Trisha, guess what? You're probably empathic.
That's not a surprise. I said yes to all of them. The last one, it was sort of yes/no.
Okay.
Because it really depends on the person in my life. For example, my son always tells me I'm too sensitive, which I think is because he's like somehow trying to attack me a little bit.
But I would never tell you that. I've known you for
So like I don't
ever.
think so, but like yeah. So I don't know.
Think
but
about
I've also
when
talked
you
to
were
my
a child, Shauna. Did people tell you that when you were a child?
no
Or like junior high. No.
no.
See, I felt like I was always getting that feedback. Like
Yeah.
you're too sensitive from like not just my family, but like everybody around me.
Did you get your feelings? Do you get your feelings hurt a lot?
Me or Shauna?
Either of you.
Yes.
No.
Okay.
But that's we balance each other that way though,
that's the
because
truth.
she protects me.
That's the
where
truth.
I'm like cracked open, and then Shauna will come in and just like stand in front of me.
Because 2 empaths would just spiral, and cavitate
so.
off of
Be
each
a
other.
nightmare.
So
Yeah.
you need a grounding force. So Shauna is the grounding force.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I think like I think I have some empathic tendencies, but like yeah, but I think probably not all the way.
No,
But this is going to sound weird too, and I've asked you about this before, Shari, but like because I also take medications to like help me like stay, balance, normal, whatever, SSRIs, etc. I feel like I have become sort of more closed off from these kinds of feelings, or maybe even like sort of like the clairaudient or any of those things, because it's like I've purposely had to cut a lot of that off just to deal with how challenging my home life is with my kids sometimes. So it's like I've had to sort of be like, okay, that can't happen. I've had to like put up that barrier, and it's medication, unfortunately, but that's what it is. So I don't know.
And there are a lot of those medications that they're designed to keep you emotionally balanced. And therefore, you are now emotionally balanced, which means you're not feeling the good or the bad. And, there's lots of different, pros and cons to that. I have people who, tell me that it has been a lifesaver, and other people who are like, I need to find a balance within that balance to keep my emotions in control with this medication, but still, how do I feel my life? So there's one thing I want to make clear is, because I know you all a long time, is even with even without the medication, because I know you both before there were children, for at least for you all. So there's a difference, I think, between being an empath and being and having empathy. And so while Trisha is probably a very strong empath, and I know Trisha a long time, and we've talked, and so I would not be surprised in the slightest if you were a full blown empath. Whereas Shauna, I would say, has empathic abilities, but also has a strong sense of empathy, which is different. Empathy is like compassion, and I feel for that situation. I understand the emotion, the feelings that the person is going through. Whereas being empathic is physically feeling it in your own body. So like
that's so interesting.
In my case, like we were talking about the vaccinations before we came live, and how we felt in our arms. As an empath, when Trisha's talking about how she had pain in her arm, I can literally feel my arm going, wah, 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 that throb. And I'm like, okay, stop that. But that's part of that energetic, connection that empaths can have to another person. And the stronger you have that relationship with a person, the stronger that connection can be, which is why sometimes the people who are the closest to us, like family members, children, or even parents, can be the ones that can be really taxing for an empath.
Yeah. The kids are there. No, yeah. I mean, I think this is just I love all this stuff. I love learning about it. It's so interesting. And I mean, I feel like, as I'll just say as writers too, I think for us to understand the spectrum of these, all these different things is really important, like with character development and sort of how our characters interact. Cause it is important to be like, this person's this kind of person and this one's this one. And this one's definitely going to feel everything like the kind of stuff you're talking about right now. So the more we learn about it, I think the deeper it goes into our everything really. But
well, then Trisha should definitely enroll for the class.
I know, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, can I fit this in?
Well, that's the nice thing about it is that it is at your own speed. So
yeah. That's awesome. So. Yeah, no, I was just like thinking about the questions, like about being in a crowd and feeling like you needed to get out of it. Mm-hmm. Like I think that quarantine has made it even harder to just going to Target almost feels like a panic attack for me. And because people don't pay attention, they're too close. But I've always had that problem. Yeah. Whenever we're in line for something, or we've been to concerts together, or I don't like to go to Disneyland because it's too many people. They're all all over you.
Exactly. Exactly.
And that's odd though. I feel like some people are just get over it.
No, I'm with you 100%. My husband bought us, I live in Orlando. My husband bought us passes for Disney World a couple years ago for Valentine's Day. That was the gift. And I started to cry and he's and not from joy, not from joy. And you have to go to downtown Disney, or what is it called now? Disney Springs, to the guest relations place to activate your pass and get your picture taken and to set up your pass. And I'm like, no, I don't want to go. No, I don't want to go. No, I don't. I mean, so this was Valentine's Day, and it was probably the end of March by the time he could finally get me to go to downtown Disney to set up the passes so we could actually go. But when we go to the parks, we go on a weekday morning or a weekday afternoon.
When no one's there.
Yeah, because I am telling you, I get back in the car and I'm like, I need a nap. Not just from the walking, but if we go when friends are in town and they're always there on a Saturday or something, I'm like, girl, that is too much energy for me.
Yeah, no, I
gotta take a lot of crystals.
Have every pocket. Yeah, I always thought it was more just almost like being afraid of a phobia, like being in an elevator with too many people or being anywhere in a mall. I hate malls. I don't like any of it.
Yeah, I think COVID has definitely made that more. We were on an elevator here. Our Performing Arts Center in downtown Orlando has this huge front lawn, and they have created this amazing outdoor performance space with pods. Cool. So you can sit in your own little pod and you can order food that they bring to you. I mean, it's fabulous. But when we were going back to the parking garage, it was us and another couple on the elevator. And as the doors were closing, these people without masks, pushed the door open and 10 people got on and the two of us were out. And we just got off the elevator as fast as humanly possible. And so I think COVID has definitely increased for people who feel that kind of energy and have that sort of sense of panic in a crowd anyway. It was I gotta go.
Well, it just justified my reasoning.
Well,
in a weird health way.
Well, and also there's so many things that kind of that have changed, right? So you can get your food delivered, and I mean those things were there before, but now they feel so much more accessible. I never ordered groceries or anything like that before, and I've gotten into the habit of some of those things, and it's just bizarre because I never would have done that before.
Yeah. The pandemic has been the thing that empaths and introverts have been waiting for.
Right. I know. I see a lot of stuff about introverts. That's really funny.
We're pandemicking no problem. That my son is an introvert. He could not be happier. But at some point, we still have to be able to go back to the grocery store. We're going to have to go to soccer games or, whatever. And at some point, we're going to have to go back out there. And so this is a marvelous time to take the quiet and this protective bubble we've put ourselves in, and allow ourselves to really feel what's going on with us when we do connect with other people, because we can connect in these smaller pods. So we're not getting so emotionally and energetically bombarded when we go out there. We can connect with a small family group or whatever, and really start to get to know how you are receiving energy and how you're processing it, how it's affecting you, and what you need to do or what you could do to smooth that out for yourself to make it a much more enjoyable experience. I like going to Disney now.
See, that's cool. That's so cool. Well, thanks for explaining all this, Shari. It's so. I mean, we always love talking to you because you're awesome. But also, it's just this stuff is really interesting. I think to both of us, and I imagine to a lot of our folks out there that listen to the show, and being able to share this with them as an opportunity is really great. So. We will put all the links in our show notes to all your websites that are. With your link tree.
And then
I do like to be out in nature, so I would enjoy a link tree. I'm just kidding. See, this is like the punny thing. I can't do it. I can't do it.
You thought my Batman joke was
I know.
bad.
That's what we like.
That was worse.
I want to thank you both. First of all, it's so fantastic to see you, because I haven't been able to get out to California for this whole time. So it is so wonderful to see your faces, and I miss you both terribly. But thank you so much for the opportunity to come on and to share about the course with people. It is Becoming an Empowered Empath. It's my, Shari Dworkin-Smith I will send you the link tree, and people will be able to enroll. Enrollment's going to open on the 15th. And April, and then the course will go live on May 1st. So, and we would love to be able to welcome some of your listeners to the school.
Awesome. Well, and I'm going to also link to our other episodes we did with you, so that if people want to listen to your personal story and get to know you, you can do that on your website as well. But I think hearing the interview is really good too.
I agree. My blog is on my website, and there is a link to our episodes, because we ended up with 2 episodes together. Yeah. And those are also linked on my website as well.
Oh, perfect.
So
you're great.
So if they go on my website under media.
Oh, here it is. Yeah, I see it under media.
Look at you.
Awesome.
So
nice.
You were very 2019
on
top of things.
Yes.
Well,
very cool.
Shari and I are both Capricorns. I think our birthdays are like a day or two apart, right?
Yeah. I'm like 29 and you're 30, right?
I'm 28. I'm 28 and you're 29. Yeah, I know. We're like so close. I always think that's so funny. But anyway.
Maybe soul sisters somehow. So.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Awesome.
Well, the way that really quick, I may have told the story before, but I just have to tell it again. The way that I came to know Shari is that I had stuck my business card in a bowl at the Chinese deli in North Hollywood. And then I get a call, and she called me at work, because I was like, how did you get my number? And you're like, you put your card, your business card, in a bowl. And I pulled it out for like a free, facial or whatever it was. And so I was like, oh, okay, well, all right, sure. And usually I am not the kind of person that goes for something. I'd be like, whatever, bye. Like, and for some reason, I went to meet you, and then we just known each other all the time.
20 years ago.
Yeah, it's 20 years ago, because
you were getting married. How long have you been married now?
It'll be 20 this year. Yeah, in September.
Because your wedding was coming up, and you wanted to have your skin be in good shape for your wedding.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because we got product.
Because we got
time for the
special
wedding.
stuff. Yeah. But it was just so, I don't even think that I was thinking that, though, when I met you. I was just like, all right. I don't know. It's just so funny, because it feels so not coincidental. I don't know. Whenever I meet people in ways like that, it's sort of like, oh, that's kind of I would have probably said no to 10 other people, but I didn't to
odd.
you.
Yeah, it was very odd that you agreed to go to someone's place for their Mary Kay. It was just very.
It was just unlike me.
What are you doing?
we and then Trisha came along. So
yeah,
and I've been a director with Mary Kay now for my 20th anniversary of being a director with Mary Kay will be in July, on July 1st. But I've been with the company for 23 years now. So in addition to being a psychic medium, but when we are, if you think of like elementary school math here for a second. If you think of you're the dot.
Day.
That was the end of the road for me, Trisha.
All
The
of us.
kids hit 4th grade, and I'm like, yeah, no. But you're the dot with the circle around you, okay? And there's all these concentric circles around you of different rings of people. And every circle, every ring has a dot. So we all have like our own little hula hoop around us. And the more your circle with the dot intersects with their circle, and your dots are closer and your circles overlap, the closer you are in your souls. And so for Shauna and I, we probably are in the same soul family, maybe not like super, super close, but in like cousins, if you will.
Yeah,
in our soul
like
family.
extended family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And when you meet somebody like that, you have this connection with them where something feels familiar on the soul level. There's something resonant that's like, oh yeah, I understand this in some way. It feels familiar, which is probably why you said yes to me when you would have said no to 100, to 10 other people.
Yeah,
something
for
felt
sure.
familiar.
No, I love that. No, and I think I've done like some meditations or something where it's like sort of like think about, and I immediately, the memories that come to my mind are like the first time I saw my husband, remembering seeing Trisha do something. One of my bosses that had a big effect on me, I remember seeing him. It's like so weird. It's like they literally come like this exact image comes. So it's like, I know that, I don't know. It's just funny. It's like, and I might not remember like 10,000 other things about meeting other people, but the ones that really resonate, I like literally have an image of
And
the
they're
moment
still
I met
in your
them,
life too. Probably every person that you have that with, if they're still alive, they're still
and
with
so
you
much
in some way.
of that exact perception is how mediumship works. So when I bring through someone's deceased loved one from the spirit side, I will see these images as if it had happened to me. I'm like, why am I seeing, like just the other day I was working with someone and the father came through. I said, why am I seeing racehorses? I feel like I'm at the racetrack. I can smell the dirt track and there's racehorses. And it turned out that the past father that was in the spirit world, he had raised racehorses and owned like racehorse teams and tracks and stuff. And like, so this man I was talking to, his whole upbringing was around horse tracks. So that's how your guides and your folks on the other side, and that's how higher level communication works. So when you get those images that pop in, just sort of when you're in meditation, and you're like, what do I need to know? And those things are coming in, it's because they're trying to tell you something. Your guides are talking.
That's so cool. I love it. I love this stuff. All right. Well, awesome. I know you have somewhere else to go. But not to the management,
not to
somewhere
the
else. But
I'm done for the day. Showered and everything. So.
But thank you so much, Shari, for coming on. We could talk to you all day, and we always have a good time with you. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Really, really appreciate it.
Mwah. Thank you.
You've been listening to a podcast of the Podfix Network. Discover more audible gems like this at podfixnetwork.com. Make sure to catch up-to-the-minute network shenanigans by following @Podfix on Twitter, official_Podfix on Instagram, @Podfix Network on Facebook. And make sure to subscribe to Podfix Presents wherever you choose to find podcasts. The Podfix Network, artist owned and loved.
Test.
This is a test of our podcast.
Test.
TwoGirlsOnABench.com. No. .net. Gov.
That's .gov for sure.